Have you ever caught yourself saying, "I just can't do the things I used to," and felt that pang of loss? What if I told you there are 7 precious abilities many people lose as they age, but that you might still have? These aren't just random skills, but genuine blessings that make all the difference in our golden years. Number 6 is something only 23% of people over 65 can still do effortlessly. Yet it's one of the strongest predictors of both longevity and life satisfaction. Let's explore these 7 special abilities, why they matter, and how to reclaim them if they've faded. 1. Physical independence. The ability to move your body through daily activities without assistance is perhaps the greatest blessing after 65. Think about getting up from a chair without using your hands or bending down without holding onto furniture. That's true freedom. What many don't realize is how quickly this independence can disappear without maintenance. Once you start avoiding certain movements or relying on help for basic tasks, your body adapts to doing less, creating a downward spiral. To maintain this blessing, practice the sit to stand exercise daily. Stand up from a chair without using your hands. Then sit back down slowly, repeating 10 times. Focus on balance exercises like standing on one foot while holding something stable, gradually working toward no support. Challenge yourself regularly with movements that feel slightly difficult but doable, like getting up from lower surfaces or carrying groceries a bit farther. My neighbor Ruth maintained her ability to garden well into her 80s by doing these simple movements daily, while her sister, who avoided difficult movements, needed a walker by 72. The difference wasn't genetics, it was regular movement practice. 2. Digestive resilience. Isn't it wonderful when you can enjoy a meal without wondering how your body will react? When food is a source of pleasure rather than anxiety, that's digestive resilience. The ability to eat a reasonable variety of foods without discomfort, strict restrictions, or medication. As we age, many resign themselves to an increasingly limited diet, believing digestive troubles are inevitable. But research shows digestive health is more modifiable than we thought, even after 65. Here's what makes the difference. Maintain regular meal times. Your digestive system thrives on predictability. Practice mindful eating, slower consumption, and thorough chewing. Reduce many common digestive issues. Gradually increase variety rather than restricting. Try adding 1 new easily digestible food each week, rather than eliminating foods you love. My friend Daniel had gotten down to eating just 12 safe foods by age 70. Working with a nutritionist, he slowly expanded his options using these techniques. 6 months later, he was enjoying foods he'd given up years before and taking fewer digestive medications. See mental flexibility. Some people become increasingly rigid in their thinking as they age, while others remain open to new ideas, technologies, and perspectives. That openness, what psychologists call mental flexibility, might be one of the greatest predictors of happiness after 65. Mental flexibility allows us to adapt to our changing world rather than feeling constantly frustrated by it. It helps maintain meaningful connections across generations and find creative solutions to new challenges. To nurture this blessing, practice the alternative perspective exercise. When you have a strong opinion, spend 5 minutes seriously considering the opposite viewpoint. Try something completely new each month, not just a variation of something familiar. Seek out conversations with people whose life experiences differ significantly from yours, especially younger generations. At 72, I was convinced that social media was nothing but toxic. My granddaughter challenged me to try one platform for 3 weeks. While some of my concerns were valid, I discovered wonderful communities of artists my age and reconnected with long-lost friends. Had I remained rigid, I would have missed these connections completely. 4. Quality sleep. Do you remember the last time you woke up feeling genuinely refreshed? Quality sleep, the kind that leaves you energized and clear-headed, becomes increasingly rare after 65. Yet it's one of the most significant factors in overall health, cognitive function, and emotional well-being. Many incorrectly assume that poor sleep is simply part of aging. While some sleep changes are normal, regularly waking up exhausted isn't. What makes the difference? Create a consistent sleep and wake schedule. Your body's sleep hormones respond powerfully to regularity. Manage light exposure. Strategically, bright light, preferably sunlight. Within 30 minutes of waking, and reduced blue light from screens 2 hours before bed. Address pain proactively, as even minor discomfort can dramatically disrupt sleep. My sister struggled with fragmented sleep for years, until implementing these changes along with addressing her mild shoulder pain before bed. She describes the improvement as getting 10 years of my life back. 5. Authentic friendships. Those friends you can call at 10 p.m. when something wonderful happens, who show up with soup when you're sick without being asked, or those you can sit with in comfortable silence. If you still have friendships like these after 65, you possess a blessing of immeasurable value. As we age, our social circles naturally contract. Without intentional effort, many find themselves with plenty of acquaintances, but few deep connections. What nurtures this blessing? Prioritize regular contact with your most meaningful connections. Even brief, regular check-ins sustain closeness better than occasional lengthy visits. Practice vulnerability. Share your actual thoughts and feelings, rather than just news and updates. Be the friend you want to have. Offer practical help. Remember important dates and reach out first rather than waiting. My friend Eleanor maintains a friendship calendar, noting when she last connected with each important person in her life. It ensures no relationship accidentally slips through the cracks during busy periods. Her circle of close friends at 78 is wider and deeper than most people half her age. 6. Sense of purpose. This is the blessing that only 23% of people over 65 report having in abundance. A clear sense of purpose. Not just having a packed schedule or being needed by family, but that deep knowing that you still have meaningful contributions to make, that your life continues to have direction and importance. Research consistently shows that people with a strong sense of purpose live longer, experience less cognitive decline, and report significantly higher life satisfaction. How to nurture or rediscover this vital blessing. Identify your transferable wisdom. What knowledge, skills, or perspectives have you developed that others might benefit from? Look for areas of genuine need that align with your abilities and interests. Purpose lives at the intersection of your gifts and others' needs. Start small but consistent. Purpose grows through regular engagement, not grand gestures. At 70, my cousin Richard felt increasingly invisible after retirement. He started volunteering, just 2 hours weekly teaching basic woodworking to at-risk youth. 5 years later, he says those 2 hours are what gets me out of bed on dark mornings. And several students have gone on to careers in the trades. But a capacity for joy, our final blessing might seem obvious, but it's profoundly important. The capacity for joy. Those moments when you feel genuinely delighted. The taste of perfectly ripe fruit, an unexpected call from an old friend, the particular quality of afternoon light, or the satisfaction of solving a problem. Many experience a gradual dulling of joy as they age, often without noticing its disappearance. Routine, stress, health concerns, and loss can all diminish our ability to feel and savor positive emotions. How to protect and expand this precious blessing. Practice joy spotting. Deliberately, look for small moments of beauty or pleasure each day and pause to fully experience them. Create novelty regularly. Our brains are wired to notice and appreciate new experiences. Express gratitude specifically and out loud. The simple act of naming what brings you joy actually strengthens your capacity to feel it. After her husband died, my friend Martha started her daily delight practice. Each evening, writing down 3 moments of joy she'd experienced. At first, I had to really strain to find anything, she told me. Now I have trouble keeping it to just 3. Nothing in my circumstances changed. What changed was my attention. Conclusion. Let's review the 7 blessings that make all the difference. After 65, physical. Independence. Digestive resilience. Mental flexibility. Quality sleep. Authentic friendships. Sense of purpose and capacity for joy. If you still possess all 7, you are indeed truly blessed. But remember, even if you've lost some, it's rarely too late to begin reclaiming them. Small, consistent efforts often yield surprising improvements, even after decades of neglect. The real transformation happens when we stop seeing these abilities as things we either have or don't have, and start viewing them as gardens we can tend, nurture, and watch bloom again, perhaps differently than before. but beautiful nonetheless.